Hello everyone, this is Nancy Amato. I'm the Be More Stamper. I am so thrilled to be with you for this first, for me at least, this first blog hop. So thank you so much. I am so excited to be part of the Stamping Around the World video blog hop. And this is my first month joining. So I may make a few mistakes throughout here. This is my first video, so I appreciate you joining us today. Our theme this month for June of 2024 is texture. So this is the project that I made for us to recreate here on this video. Not only do we have the texture here from this lovely embossing folder, but we also have the plant textures as well with all of these different leaves. And then we kind of have a little secret pop opening of the front panel of this card. And then inside we do have our greeting as well. So let's get started. Let me show you what I am using to make this fun card this month. Our stamp sets are Planted Paradise. This is in our annual catalog. Okay, that's the first one. We're also going to be using Happy Little Things, a couple of the greetings in Happy Little Things. This is an online exclusive. And then for the congratulations on the inside is Sweetly Scripted. This is also one of the online exclusive items. Now that just means you can only see these items online. You can still order them from your demonstrator, just as you always do, or you can opt to join, or pardon me, to shop from their online store link, and you can shop directly from them at their link. So those are our 3 stamp sets that we're going to be using this month. The other thing I mentioned was this new Dotted Circles 3D embossing folder. This thing is huge. It is like 8 1/4 inches long by 6 inches wide. And it is one of our 3D embossing folders, so it is thicker than our regular embossing folders. I always like to make a note to myself to feed this into the machine hinge first. So I've already gone ahead and run our panel of basic white through this embossing folder and our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But when you use this 3D embossing folder, you are just gonna need plate number 1 and a plate number 4, okay? And the last thing we're going to be using here are the Deckled Circles dies. And I wanted to point out which ones we are using. So if you are starting from the smallest circle in these dies, we are using number 2, okay? And then we're gonna count down, so 1, and then 2 is over here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So we're using 2 and 9 from our Deckled Circles dies. Alrighty, let's get started. All right, let's do all of the stamping for our plants. Now we have quite a few colors here. As I stamp them, I will let you know what it is. So this one is a new color. It is Basic Beige. So we are going to open that one up, and we are going to be stamping one of the flower pots in Basic Beige. So there is that one right there, okay? This is a photopolymer set, so you can see right through it, which is wonderful. But it also means that it's a good idea to stamp on a foam mat as well. So you can see I've put my work paper on top of the foam mat. So, all right, that is Basic Beige with that flower pot. That's finished. Let's open up our Blueberry Bushel And we are going to do this other large flower pot right here. Okay, and I'm just tapping and getting that stamp nice and inky, pushing down. And because this is a solid type of stamp, I like to give it a few seconds for the ink to transfer right into the paper so the paper can absorb the ink. So there we go with that one. We need that one flower pot in Blueberry Bushel. I'm just putting these to the side. I will clean them later on. Cajun Craze is going to be our next flower pot. This kind of looks like, you know, the regular terracotta flower pots. And then there is Cajun Craze right there. And I'm going to give this a quick second to let that ink absorb into the paper. All right, I'm going to have a mess of stamps here to clean later, but that's okay. Now we're going to use one of our new in colors. It's called Shy Shamrock. Okay, we are going to ink up these leaves here and stamp them in Shy Shamrock. And then for the inside panel of our card, which measures 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to be a vertical presentation there. I'm going to slide this over because I just want this little leaf at the bottom of the inside of our greeting card. Okay, we will add the words congratulations on there in a little bit. I just thought while we have this Shy Shamrock color open, let's just get it all done, right? Okay, so that is that. Next one is Shaded Spruce. And we are going to stamp 2 of each one of these. So this kind of reminds me of the leaf of a snake plant, which I cannot kill. So I like these snake plants because I'm going to tell you there are some plants I'm really, really not good with at all. So we have 2 of the snake plant leaves going that direction. And they're larger. And then we're going to have 2 of these smaller leaves. Okay, and you may be wondering why I'm stamping all of this at one time. I'm going to let you know in just a second. Let me stack all of this up. Next is another one of our new in colors, Pretty in Pink. And for those of you who have been around a long time like me, this is a returning color. We used to have Pretty in Pink as part of our core collection years and years ago. So I'm really glad that it is back. All right, Pretty in Pink, we just need 1 butterfly. Put him over here. And the last one is Lemon Lime Twist. And we're gonna do 3 of these large leaves. So I'm gonna be able to fit 1 down here. Okay, then I'm going to do another one here. And then my 3rd one right here. Okay, so those are all of the elements that we're going to need. Now, unfortunately, there are no dies for this stamp set, but we do have paper snips. And I'm going to spare you, though, the joy of watching me cut all of this out. I have done that ahead of time. Let's move our inside panel right there. So, again, we have our little pot right there, our bigger pot right there, our medium pot, and then 3 of these leaves, 2 of the large snake plants, and then 2 of the smaller snake plants, the little butterfly, and then the 3 leaves together in that one. So you could really get 2 cards out of one piece of 5.5 by 8.5, because you could really squish these a little bit closer together than I have done. I just like stamping these and then doing some fussy cutting while I'm watching TV at night or something like that. Okay, so we have those right there ready for us to put together. I'm just going to stack all of them up, and then we can stamp the inside greeting. We have the congratulations to stamp. Let me grab that stamp right here. I love these line images right here. They are some of my favorite new stamps. So we're going to use Blueberry Bushel once again. I love this color. And since this is a bigger stamp, what I'm going to do is turn it so that the stamp is facing up, and I'm going to tap the ink onto it. That way I can make sure I'm not getting it on the edges right there of the stamp, so that I don't get that shadow outline. And this stamp is longer than this card is wide, so I have my just scrap paper underneath so that I can stamp and then lift up, and there we go. Okay, we have that. I'm going to put this over here in my stack of things to clean with my scrubby and my chamois when we get finished. Alrighty, so let's bring in all of the other pieces that we need. Here's our inside panel, and again that was 4 by 5.25. Our outside panel is basic white. It is the same size, 4 by 5.25, but you can see how I've run it through that embossing folder. Let me bring that in one more time just to show you. You can see the circles, the concentric circles are like lined up in the middle, but what I wanted to do was to have the circles moving over more towards the right-hand side. So that is why I chose, let's see where I had it, somewhere right about here, okay? So that is how hang on, it was all the way over here. There we go. So it was all the way over there. That's where I placed the paper to have the circles being more towards the right-hand side, okay? So there we are. We're also gonna need a panel, a small little bit of basic white, 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4 of an inch. And I've just gone ahead already and stamped that greeting. And this again is from the Happy Little Things. You are incredible, okay? And we are just going to take this and then our paper snips and just put a notch on the right-hand side edge. All right, so I'm just going up into the middle about halfway and then meeting right in the middle from each of the corners. All right, so now we have a little notch there, so that is ready to go. We have our number 2 circle, and what we are stamping on that is the "You Did It," okay? And I already did it just to make sure this video didn't go too long. And next we have our other die cut circle. And then our card base is basic beige, 8.5 by 5.5, and scored and folded in the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, so what I want to do is to have this embossed layer. This is my textured embossed layer, but I also want this circle to be attached to the back side of it. So what I did was I lined up this circle because I wanted it to be evenly spaced. I flipped this over and just drew a little pencil line and then brought my paper trimmer in with my scoring blade and then scored that right there. Okay, so this part is actually going to be attached to the back of this panel just to make this fun little flap on the outside of the card. Okay, so let's do that first. I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to put a little bit of our Tombow liquid glue right in this panel. You don't want too much because you don't want it to squish out. So I am going to spread it out a little bit so it's a little bit thinner right there. And now I'm going to pick this up and lay this down right where I want it. Okay, and I'm gonna put that edge, that fold, right up against the edge. I just want to slide that down just a little tiny bit. There we go. And I'm gonna press. I'm gonna turn it over and really press that down so that it sticks. Okay, so now that circle is attached to this panel just on that flap. Now we're going to keep this closed and then we're going to use some more liquid glue. Now you could use your Seal Plus if you wanted to. I tend to really like to use the liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle time when I'm putting something on the front of the card. So I'm going to open up the front of this card here and turn this so the right side is facing up, and then center this on the front of the card. This is why I like the liquid glue. It gives me a little bit of time to wiggle it around to put it in the right position. And now I can just press that down in those flat areas. And it is stuck. Plus, where I live here on the East Coast of the US, it can be quite humid, especially in the summertime. And I find that this Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue will hold my cards together a lot better than just regular old seal. All right, so I'm gonna need some dimensionals. Of course, I should have gotten them out ahead of time, but I did not. I have some edges here. Let's use the edges. Okay. First things first, we are going to put the little "you did it," the little hidden message right inside there. So I'm just going to snip right along the edges here. Make sure you use up your edges. This is kind of a lesson I didn't plan on showing you. Oh, there's my full sheet of dimensionals right there. Oh my. There we go. The more I try to plan to do things, the more I forget where I put them. That's all I can say. There we go. Okay, so we have that all ready. Now we are going to build all of our flower pots and flowers here, and then we'll attach them to the front of this card. So let's bring in our sample once again so we can divide up all of our pieces. We know that these are going to go together. Okay, and then this one is going to go with the basic beige. And then the snake plant is going to go in the terracotta. All right, I'm going to use my liquid glue once again. So for this one, I am just going to put some little dots of glue right there at the base of those leaves. And I'm just going to put the middle one in first. Okay, and hold it for a quick second just to let it grab the one to the right and then the one to the left-hand side. Okay, so those are, that plant is all together. We can put that one aside. Let's do this one next. And again, I'm just gonna put some little dots of the liquid glue right there. Pick up the flower pot and put it right on top there. Okay, and again, because it's liquid glue, it gives me a little bit of time to wiggle it around to where I really want it to be. Okay, and then here is our terracotta flower pot with our snake plants. So first things first, I am going to put a little glue dot there, or a little spot of glue, I should say, not a glue dot. And then I'm gonna lay the flower pot right on top. So I want one of those parts of the snake plant right there hanging over to the right. Okay, now I'm gonna do one of the smaller ones and it's going to curve towards the left. So again, just putting a little spot of glue there, lining that up and then pressing that and holding it for a quick second. And then I'm gonna do another big one. And I want that right here. And I'm gonna kind of overlap it a little bit, actually, to make it really look like how a snake plant grows. And then our last one will go towards the left. Okay, there we go. And you can vary the height of these so that it looks like different, levels as well. So we have texture from that embossing folder, plus we have all the texture of these leaves and these plants as well. All right, now it's time to build it on the circle for the front of the card. Let me move these things out of our way. First things first, we're gonna take our largest flower pot and I'm gonna turn that over and put a couple little dots of glue on the back of it and then a little bit more on the area for the pot, okay? And that one is going to go up near the top and these leaves are going to overlap the edge of the circle. So you can see how they are overlapping the edge of the circle. And I just want to push that down and let that adhere, okay? All right, our snake plant, we're gonna use some dimensionals. Let me grab the sheet that I have over here. Oh, I only had 2 left anyway. My goodness. So we'll use some of the ends of this one as well. Let's just use one little side piece right here, okay? There we go. And then we can peel off these little wax paper pieces. Now this one is going to go right here. All right, so we have the texture of that popped up a little bit. And then this last plant is going to be flat again. So we're just gonna use our liquid glue once again. There we go. And put that down here. Okay, we want to make sure we're not going to overlap the right side edge of this card because we want it to fit in our envelope, right? All right, let's grab our You Are Incredible. And for this, we are going to do double-decker dimensionals. So we're going to use the side. We're only going to put them on the back of this flat edge. Okay, only on the back of the flat edge. So what I'm going to do is just cut 2 of these edge pieces. That should line up really nicely with the edge. So I'm going to peel off the wax paper and then take the second one and put it right on top. Okay, now if you had a full pack of dimensionals that you were working on, you could certainly just do it with 1 dimensional. I'm going to need to trim this edge a little bit because it's going to hang out. All right, and what we want to do is to keep this closed. This is going to act like the little buckle or whatever of the belt. And then I'm going to line this left side up with the left edge of our white panel. And you can see how that is holding that closed, but we can open it up and see that secret little message on the inside. Okay. All right, last things. We are going to put the inside of our greeting card here. This is the panel that you can use to sign it. Alrighty, so I'm just putting a little bit of our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue around the edges. And put that right there on the inside. Okay. And this little leaf that we stamped earlier, that just gives like a little nod to the plants on the front. Okay, so there we go. This is our fun texture card. Now I also, let me see where I put the envelope. I also used the Celebrate stamp from that same Happy Little Things stamp set. So there is a solid line stamp and then the outline stamp. So what I did for the flap is I find it's easier for me if I do the outline stamp first, and that's what I stamped in the blueberry bushel. And then I inked up the solid stamp with the basic beige. And because it's photopolymer, I can line it up pretty well. It's not always perfect, but it's close enough, right? Because it is handmade. So I filled that image with the basic beige. So that is how I did the envelope as well. So this is my card for the first Stampin' Around the World video blog hop. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you next month. I don't know what the theme is just yet. Oh my goodness, I forgot the butterfly. Hang on. We have to remember the butterfly, right? Oh my goodness. What am I doing? The butterfly is just going to go on the edge of this circle. So part of that butterfly is going to be hanging out. So when I turn my butterfly over, I just need to put 2 little teeny tiny specks of glue right there. So there's one and there's one. And in fact, I'm going to spread those out a little bit. There we go. And I almost forgot the butterfly. There we are. Okay. So I have the butterfly hanging right on the edge there. So the butterfly is hanging off the edge of that circle as well. So I hope you enjoyed this project. This is my take on texture. We have a 3D embossing folder, plus lots of little texture with these leaves and flower pots. So thank you so much. Please be sure to visit the other videos. I have them listed in the description of this video, and see all of the wonderful creativity from the other members of this video blog hop. Thanks so much, everyone. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.